There goes the neighborhood!
Are you ready for this show, Crusher?
Mad Dog, why do you never tell me that I gotta be here when I got you? You didn't tell me I was gonna be on the radio this
You are a
episode.
professional wrestler. You should be ready at all times, you stupid scum. Your dad was so drunk when he made you that he couldn't even find his way into your mother in time to say, "Look out, here comes the stupidest
You
piece
talk
of
too
crap
much, you
I've
turkey
ever
neck
seen
bum.
in my
Who
life."
are you to say anything about my father?
Welcome to There Goes the Neighborhood. My name is Mad Dog Vachon. I am producer of show. Things you hear over next hour, well, 90 minutes, represent views of show. And us, the Crusher and myself. All opinions, quotations, in no way represent the station. They are our responsibility, Crusher. You speak. Speak, you coward. Get in the ring. My brother Paul and I.
Excuse the Crusher. I was just.
You
I was
were
just
in
hanging,
the
I was just hanging out in the locker room with Ventura, and you know the Crusher's not usually one for what they call it.
You were always a terrible promo, man.
They call it. What do you mean I was a terrible promo?
You couldn't talk with or without the cigar in your mouth. Crusher.
What? I figured that if Stone Cold Steve Austin can steal my gimmick, I steal his. What?
This is going nowhere.
Yes. Yeah. I had an extra big meal before I came here, and
Jeez, this excuse is gonna start getting old, man.
yeah.
You know, I had threatened Mario with me doing Tavis Smiley interviewing me, but only on the condition that you didn't show up for an episode as well.
Right.
So one of these days, Nick is gonna have such a big meal that he forgets and oversleeps. Mario
as
is just
big a meal, in my defense, as big as meal as I had today, I still got here before you.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I walk a little slower than I used to, and I always forget how far away the station is from my house. I don't live in River West proper. I live in River East.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of basically my neighborhood. Anything near or around Oakland Gyros, within like a 3-block radius, I think is technically River East.
Right.
You know, because it's still collegey and there's still a lot of crime, and yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And there's lots of bike shops there too.
Right.
There's that one. I don't remember the name of it. You know, I don't know.
Spoken. No.
No. Spoken Cycle is over on Center Street.
Yeah. That's
They're good.
Bikesmith.
Bikesmith, yeah.
Bikesmiths. Yes.
And if you get far enough away from River East, then you're technically on the east side then. But it's still collegey.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it's you know, since going back to school, we really can't ignore all the drama that's going on because of that.
Yeah.
You know, I've never. You know, I've never really understood it. You know, why do you move next to a college and then get surprised when college students do what college students do?
Yeah. They know, and one of the strange things was when I used to live over on Kane. I lived on Kane for like 3 years, 2 years in an apartment building, and then 1 year in a flat with a bunch of well, they weren't going to UWM. Like 2 of them were going to like MIAD, and 1 of them was going to I think it was MATC or MSOE. I can't remember which. But you know, we were college-aged kids, and we weren't clean, but we didn't drink that much, and if we did, we drank inside mostly.
Right.
The guys that lived upstairs from us were way more college-y-ish. I don't know how else to put it, but because they lived
bro-ish.
Yeah, a little bit. There's
Frat
a
boy-ish.
little bit.
Yeah.
You know, nice guys. Still talk to a couple of them every so often, but
Right.
they would drink. This is how you knew they were in college. They were drinking Keystone Light.
Right.
And how we knew that is because they had a balcony, and they all got drunk on their balcony, and they would just throw the cans off the balcony and litter the front yard.
Right.
And the old jerk face that lived behind us, he was this old codger. And he was one of those people that lived in the neighborhood, and he boarded up his windows, literally boarded up his windows,
Wow.
even though they weren't broken. He had a big, tall fence cutting off his backyard, and he just would find nothing was good enough for him. He found every little thing to complain about. He actually turned us into the city for not shoveling the sidewalk. We had like one of those winters where it was like one of those like 2-week periods where it snowed,
Right.
melted, and then snowed again. So there was like a thick layer of ice that we couldn't get to
Right.
in time, just because we didn't shovel it right away because none of us had been home long
Right.
enough to do that sort of thing. He called the city on us and got us fined, and it was like a $225 fine.
Wow.
Yeah. This is the kind of people that live on the east side in the neighborhood and refuse to move out, but they'll sit there and they'll complain about everything. Now, we lived on the corner, which is like we have like a lot more sidewalk to shovel, so we didn't get to it all. One
Right.
time we paid like some kids that were going around to shovel, and they only did like the front. They didn't do the whole side of the house leading down the sidewalk.
Right.
So that was how we ended up catching the fine.
Oh wow.
And-
so you actually had like the front cleared
Yeah,
out though.
yeah.
Wow.
But it wasn't good enough for him. And the orange vests were out there taking pictures of it so they could document it and everything.
Wow.
It's like, oh, are you kidding me? This is just sad. And once the orange vests get out there, that's like surefire. They are gonna find you.
Right. I mean that's the city's. That's how the city makes its money. And
Oh.
it's just. I just don't understand it. It's. I don't understand why you would live. First of all, why would you live in an urban environment if you expect things to stay the same, year after year, decade after decade? I mean that these
Yeah.
a lot of I write for the UWM Post, and a couple of my columns this year have been about the whole conflict between the student renters and the homeowners, and the one thing that keeps coming up from on the homeowners, and is this how great the neighborhood was in 1975. And it's like, you realize 1975 is before the time of some parents of UWM students now.
Yeah.
And they don't see how, I mean, to people our age, it's always been this college area. It's always been this college town within the bigger city.
Right.
And it's
Well, it's getting bigger is the thing, because UWM, I don't really understand like the politics and the economy, those aspects of it. But all I know is that
Right.
UWM is getting huge.
right.
And it's going to continue to grow. And part of the reason it's kind of allowed to is because as certain things leave Milwaukee, there's a void there, and you
Right.
can fill that void with whatever you choose to. And our campus is kind of filling that void in some ways by creating more education opportunities with different programs and whatnot, which is really great.
Right.
The fact that they're kind of, at least size-wise, trying to compete with, Madison. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're getting up there. I don't know what the population of Madison's is. I know it's bigger. I know.
Yeah,
But,
it is bigger, and
but they're making a run for it is the point. And the
Right.
reason that I think they're doing that is because they attempted. They always every couple of years they attempt to dissolve the UW system or take Madison out of it,
right.
which would leave UWM Milwaukee like as the sole flagship of it.
Right.
But I also think that part of it is they might be trying to take Milwaukee out of the equation too. You never know. But they're trying to make it just gigantic campus right now, and they've got a lot of really interesting programs over there. So I give them credit. But the one thing that it's kind of it creeps me out. It creeped me out the first time I noticed where all the student housing buildings were going up. I was like, ooh, really? That means we're just gonna have like a lot of like scared people like huddled across the street from that pick and save
Right.
that don't ever leave that little building.
Right.
Because I do know like a lot of these college kids, like 18, 19, they're shell shocked. They don't know, where am I? I don't know what I'm doing here.
Right.
And it's terrifying for them, I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah.
And what's crazy is I've I had urban living experience before.
What does that mean? You lived in Beirut? Like, the way you say urban is like,
Right.
I just keep thinking like, so you used to have an AK to go to the grocery store.
I think it really says that's actually a good point, because
What is
you grew up in
urban?
Slinger,
Yeah.
and you hear urban, and that's immediately what your mind goes
live in
to,
an urban
and that's
area.
what and that's what. But that's what these kids are coming. They're coming down here. Most of them are come from either they come from the suburban counties, or they come from up north, and that's their only their only images of the city come from the 10 o'clock news.
Right.
Where that means urban. Urban is violence.
Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
That's where I buy all my guns.
You think they have Urban Outfitters in Appleton?
Do they? I
No,
don't know.
they don't.
I don't know nothing.
No.
I know so little of Appleton. I just know it's very close to Bean Snappers.
Well, I just picked. You're right.
That's how much I know about
That's
Appleton.
it's near where the Brewers the farm team is the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
Timber Rattlers is a great
Yeah,
name for an organization.
You know what though? I prefer Appleton Foxes. That's what they were before they became Wisconsin Timber
You
Rattlers.
always like everything that's like older. Just come on. Just acknowledge the fact that Timber Rattlers is a great name because it means they rattle the timber that the bats are made out of, and they rattle the fences that
Yeah,
It's all-
you got a point. It's just you don't you hear Wisconsin, you don't really think of snakes. I don't know.
You don't think of snakes. Some people do. You can keep talking. I'm adjusting
Yeah.
my mic stand. This is radio.
Right.
I'm just doing this thing right here. So tell us more about the foxes.
Yeah, I don't know much about them. I just remember, that's what they were when, there was the Appleton Foxes and the Beloit Brewers. Those were the two, minor league teams. And
Beloit?
Brewers. The Brewers had the Brewers before they had the Timber Rattlers, they had the Beloit Brewers. That was now they're the Beloit Snappers, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I get a jersey with that on it?
Yeah. But yeah, that's actually the team that Prince Fielder and Ryan Braun and all the team's recent stars. That's what they started with.
I thought. What about the Nashville Sound or whatever?
That's the next level.
Oh, okay.
After they go from well now they go from Appleton, then they go to then they go to Alabama somewhere, then Nashville, and then Milwaukee.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
That is how a Major League Baseball farm system works.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never actually sat and studied the farm system.
Okay.
But I'm interested in it, mostly because of the movie Bull Durham. I want to know how many women there are like Annie out there.
Right.
That character's amazing. I don't know.
You
Have you seen that movie recently? I watch it at the beginning and the end of every baseball season.
It's one of those movies I've seen 20 times, but it's been a few. Well, maybe not 20, but I've seen it enough times, but it has been a couple years.
Have you seen it more than you've seen Top Gun? Be honest.
Way more.
Really?
Yes, way more.
You don't like Top Gun?
I've never been able to sit all the way through it, and
Really?
Yeah.
Even when he ices all those MiGs and Iceman's surrounded and he's like Maverick, 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 and then he's gotta get himself together just in time. These are all Halloween characters we're discussing, by the way.
No, and that's the thing. There's so many movies from that. I've never seen the Star Wars movies either.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's just something that everybody just can't believe when they find that out about me, that I've never seen Star Wars.
It's so wrong.
I know I've got next time I get access to a big TV, because I've been or a big screen somehow, just I've been told to not watch it on my little tiny 13-inch little TV with the fat back that I still have,
Yeah.
And so I just know I want to watch it now. Everybody is just like, how have you not seen it? And it's I feel like I've seen it. That's the thing. I've seen it parodied so many times. I know the basic plot to it. I know pretty much what happens throughout the story.
Sure.
Just from everything that I've seen that spoofs it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never actually seen the movie itself. So
That's so weird. I just how do you avoid that? That's like people avoiding Apocalypse Now. I don't know how. I guess I understand some people not seeing it. I don't know. It just seems so ubiquitous to me.
right.
But Star Wars is much more so, I
Right.
guess. But to have avoided that, you've not intentionally avoided it?
No, I didn't intentionally avoid it. I grew up in the city, but my family is all farm people.
Sure.
And so they, I didn't have an older brother or anything. I didn't have an older cousin or it's just I'd never, I just didn't have anybody to show me that movie, those movies. So
They had to show it to you. You couldn't take the interest on yourself. Come on, man.
I don't
You're not
know.
a scientist about this. This science fiction is what you're saying.
Right. I don't. I really couldn't even tell you. You know, like I think of, you know, I was like renting movies, you know, at, you know, as a teenager, and it's just like it never really. I couldn't tell you why. You know, it's just.
Man, that's just so odd. Like I used to go, like back when I was a kid, every gas station had movies that you could rent. Every
Right.
single one of them.
You're
and,
right,
And
yeah.
there was always like a bunch of trash films there, like just absolutely, like disgusting. Well, like exploitative stuff, but like you know, it was like either Girls of Spring Break type stuff. This is before Girls Gone Wild and whatever.
Right.
So it was like really bizarre to see that, you know, because
Right.
it wasn't yet like the thing. And then a ton of like horror movies, like and just crap, like stuff that you would like Silent Night, Deadly Night 4. You know,
Okay, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. It's just like things that when you watch it, it was just terrible. Every single Friday the 13th was always there. Every single Nightmare on Elm Street was always
Right.
there, and people rented them periodically, and you couldn't, you know. And I could never figure out like who these folks were that were just like, I've got to rent Jason movies. I've got to rent all 9 of them, or 8 of them, or whatever there was at that time.
Right.
But they were the hot item. That's what they stocked at these places, the gas stations in like Hartford and Slinger and stuff, wherever they had
Right.
it. I remember.
Well, in Green Bay when I first moved up there, you know, I remember that was, Cops, which is like, you know, like Milwaukee has Pick and Save.
Yeah.
Up north they have Cops, and I remember Cops had movies.
Right.
You know, it's,
Jeez.
and now we don't even have Blockbuster anymore. That's
No, that's gone.
Yeah.
Remember Video Adventure or whatever it was over on Brady,
yes.
where the it used to be. Well, now it's kind of like part of the Walgreens, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
They had a dirty film section.
Yeah.
Like,
then Blockbuster move in there.
no.
No.
Blockbuster was over on Prospect
Right.
or
No.
Farwell.
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 Farwell. For some reason, maybe that is. I thought some chain video store was it Hollywood or something.
Well, maybe Hollywood Video took it over
Yeah.
for a split second. They tried to resuscitate it, and then it couldn't be done because nobody rents flicks anymore. Nobody
Right.
can afford it. But also, like now, everything is on Netflix, so you don't even need to. And, but nobody, like, right around the time it started closing, the technological switch was taking place too. So, but I still have tons of VHS because I just don't know what to do with them. Like, do I
Right.
just throw them in the garbage? Then I'm never going to be able to see Godzilla 2000 again if I do that. Because where is it running? Who's playing it? Nobody. I have to hang on to this. I have to keep the
Keep the tape circulating.
yeah, you got to keep the tape circulating. You got to have the because back when HBO was like really like, you know, all those 80s and 90s movies and stuff would be running like kind of back to back.
Right.
So you just take like one tape, then put it on the SL mode or the SLP or whatever, and you just like put 3 movies on it.
Right.
I had a tape with Die Hard, Inner Space, and 3 Men and a Baby. It was all on one tape. Now
Nice.
tell me that's not a great Saturday.
No, that was like the first.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how bootlegging was done in the 80s.
That was how it was, and you did it. You recorded it off of HBO, and sometimes you'd get like a little bit of the
with the big HBO flying through space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing.
You know so much. So you watch all those early 80s anything like on YouTube. Just type in those years, and you'll just see like everything was flying in from space back then.
Right.
That's just one of those. That's just one of those things you notice when because I've just doing graphic design, like you just notice that was like the big trend, that this is so exciting. It's cable. It's coming from a satellite. It's awesome. It's I don't like every wrestling show that opened up back in the 80s had the whole space intro.
Right. It's like, everything had to be from outer space. It had to be like magical, and I think part of that was the Star Wars influence, because when Star Wars started, and this is the thing you missed by not like seeing it on the big screen, because when they did the re-releases in the 90s, I went and saw all of them like
Right.
in a matter of 2 days or whatever. And what was so great about it was like as soon as the logo hit, ding, all the music and stuff, and then you're like the stars and like all the stuff, scrolling and everything. There's like you were supposed to be like instantly transported. You were no longer, paying attention to the world around you. You were focused on the movie. And I think that's what like all those shows try to do. They try to emulate that.
Right. Well, I mean, and you look at the video games from that time too. Galaga, Space Invaders a few years before that.
Do you remember the movie
Asteroids,
Space Invaders?
Space Invaders.
Oh, that movie was terrible.
Why does that sound familiar? I feel
It's like
I've-
about 4 little alien dudes or 5 little alien dudes. It came out the same time, same exact time that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came out.
Okay,
Same exact
okay.
time. And I was like a contrarian kid. I'm a contrarian as an adult, but I was a contrarian as a kid. And so like I was like, I don't want to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I want to go see Space Invaders. That's what I did, and I went to go see it. And all the other boys saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They came out like excited, trying to like pretend they had swords.
Right.
I went and saw Space Invaders, and that was the worst movie I'd ever seen at that point in my life. 10 years old, 4th grade. It was terrible.
You know, my biggest disappointment was, as a kid, was probably the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Everything with Mario is a disappointment.
It is. Hey-o!
Yeah, that's what's up.
It's the 4 o'clock hour.
Yeah. The actual start time of the show, I didn't know. I thought from that text message that we weren't starting at 3:30, but
That's all right.
I'm not the first black guy to be late.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know what to say to that. That's the awkward.
I have to hold my tongue because I'll follow it up with something worse. Nick holds his tongue out of like white guilt. You should
Trying not to curse.
trying not to curse.
Right?
Welcome back to Trying Not to Curse with Nick, Mario, and Keith. So Mario, you're joining us. Happy Halloween.
I don't celebrate Halloween.
You don't?
I don't care.
Why not?
I mean, I don't. Just not a Halloween kind of person. I don't do costumes and stuff. I look completely ridiculous enough without having to put on a funny suit. I really think Halloween is an excuse for dudes to wear dresses.
Really?
Yeah. Most guys want to show their inner female. I don't really find it very humorous, but it seems to happen a lot. I don't know why dude want to wear a dress.
A dude in a dress.
Yep.
That
Yeah,
was
you
kinda-
see that tonight. Quite a
That
few
was
times.
kind of out like a couple years ago though. Like that style is played out. I thought.
I think it is too, but you're going to still see 3 or 4 fellows this evening in evening gowns wandering the whole of River West, and I hate them all.
You hate them all. Oh my goodness.
I have a list of things I hate I should bring in.
Didn't we say we were talking about Steve Harvey?
yeah.
Are we talking about Steve Harvey today?
Yeah, I hate Steve Harvey.
All right.
I hate his mustache, his 70s porn stash. I hate his folksy conversation. Ooh, trying not to curse. Yeah. I also hate Marlon Wayans, as a matter of fact. I despise his comedy. I don't think he's funny.
I saw
And it's
that on
just an
your FB.
excuse to wear a dress. He thinks that's hilarious. Look, I'm a dude in a dress. Ha ha. I hate him.
How did he start his career off? By the way,
His brother was funny. Damon's funny.
Damon Wayans. Oh, he was the
In
dude
Living Color.
in the Adam Sandler movie too. Bullet.
Yes, Bulletproof. Yeah.
That's Damon. That's Damon.
That's Damon, right?
Yeah.
Damon's funny.
The
Yeah.
Wayans family is famous for In Living Color.
Yeah. That's how they
Were they
started.
all in Living
Yes.
Color? Because
Yeah,
the only
pretty
person
much,
I remember, honestly, is Jim Carrey, like doing Fire Marshal Bill. Was
Yeah,
it?
you
Right.
came on later on.
Yeah,
That was like the end. But Damon was the guy before Jim Carrey was the guy, and it was really a vessel to get Damon out there on national TV. In my estimation, Keenan Ivory Wayans is the oldest brother who at first went out to LA and made his start, and then he brought his brothers out and was kind of trying to find a way where they all could work together on something, and a sketch comedy show came from it. They had a lot of the black guys who were good writers at the time writing for the show. You got
I was worried that we were really boring before you got here, and now that you're here talking about the history of the Wayans brothers, I feel really good about the whole conversation Nick and I were having for half an hour
I thought
before you
it
got
was
here.
boring
Whatever.
too, you know.
So you hate the Wayans brothers?
I
Don't we
hate-
all?
I don't hate
we
the-
all?
I don't hate the Wayans brothers specifically. I just hate Marlon Wayans.
hate Marlon Wayans.
because he's not funny, and they keep putting him in roles because people want to work with Keenan and Damon, and they figure, hey, if we give Marlon a role, then he'll bring his brothers along, and he sucks bad,
Yeah.
and he's horrible in everything, and he was horrible in the movie with Tupac. He played the basketball movie or whatever. He was above the rim. Yeah, above the rim. Yeah, he was horrible. It was awful in that. And he always looks like he's looking at the camera. And I despise that man, generally speaking. I am on a campaign against him, and people like him.
Wow. So I don't even know what it's good to have two things you got to have in life if you're an American. You got to have a celebrity crush, and you got to have celebrity hate. You got to have that one celebrity that you're just out, like, this dude needs to be stopped.
Wow.
You don't necessarily want to kill him,
Right.
you know, but
His death wouldn't be a big deal.
that's, yeah, on the news. On the news. It's just terrible.
So you mean to tell me what celebrity do you hate?
Me, I've got him. I just have to focus on it right now because I'm still thinking about how I got here so late that I didn't get to get coffee yet.
Oh wow.
So like I'm just thinking about how great a cup of coffee would be right now. I should have
Yeah,
texted you when I saw you outside the window. You're like, Mario, go back and get me a cup of coffee. I'll pay you back.
No, I had to run next door before I got here because I was having a big meal before I got here, so I got here like maybe 10 minutes before I was supposed to. Well, I probably should have been here a half hour before I actually got here, but
No, I always forget how far it is again.
Yeah.
So yada yada.
yeah. For those who don't know, we are now starting at 3:30. Only we did not get here at 3:30 today, so
Yeah.
we started a little bit late. So if you're just now tuning in, like what why are they on?
If you're listening to this as a podcast archived and you don't care, that's the last time we'll talk about what time we started.
But we did cover a few things that were really important.
What was that? Y'all solved world hunger?
Well, yeah, and also I made it very clear and stated that if you both are never here, or if
Yeah, we're not talking about this. Yeah,
that I
know.
will, Tavis Smiley would be the guest. Mario, this is an interesting point. Is it all black men that I can't impersonate, or just Tavis Smiley?
I just refuse to participate any further in this conversation.
Because can I still do Barack?
So yeah, man, I was walking down here. There are a lot
America.
of squirrels in River West for some reason.
America.
Can't take this.
Squirrels.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
squirrels in every tree. There's a squirrel in every
Squirrel in America.
tree. What
Sorry.
is he talking about?
the squirrels at the UWM campus are famous.
Why are
because
the squirrels
will,
at the UWM campus famous?
because they will come right up to people. They will sit on people's legs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they apparently from what I hear, I don't know how credible this is, but somebody told me that it's
Squirrel
because
bit his
the-
nuts.
Well, no, it's because they're inbred. They're so isolated from the squirrel populations. I mean, you gotta think that's only like a 4-block radius, and yeah, so they I don't know if they consider, I don't know what the parameters are, and is that the same squirrel population as the one here in River West or not, or I'm not sure, but
How many
evidently it's
squirrels cross the bridge?
right, yeah, I'm not the person that.
Mario, this is your
You're a
area of
Northwoods guy.
expertise. Clearly, this is something you know about.
I don't have any idea what y'all talking about. I didn't even know that squirrels.
Oh, he's got his phone going.
Yeah, I didn't know what happened. I have to cut that off.
ball. Let's play bocce ball. That's what it says. Is your bocce ball partner?
It says exterminate.
Oh, that doesn't
Darlings.
sound like that.
We are on.
We are on the air. LOL, wink, smiley.
I hate emoticons too. Have I explained that I hate emoticons?
Oh, I use emoticons every once in a while. Just like I can't decide if I'm using them genuine or ironic, but I use them. I bounce back and forth. I find that if I don't use emoticons when like texting or chatting with ladies, that they tend to think that you're being taciturn and angry at them.
Is that what it is?
That's what.
And you have such an extensive experience with the ladies. So what I was saying was, you
Be
can't.
careful now, or I'll do my Tavis on you.
Be careful now. I'll do my Tavis on you. You can go get some coffee. I think we could hold it together while you went and got some coffee. It's just the
There's
drinking
just
on
like
air.
there's so many cords like tripping me potentially on the way
I
out.
suppose.
That's the only problem. I'm in the corner of the station here, so.
Yeah.
Well, you had a story the other day that I thought was
I don't
really
know.
great
Why is the camera pointed out the window?
because it's on a laptop. Oh, or do you want me to adjust the camera so
Yeah.
that it looks right at you?
No, not particularly. I just promised people a pod. I mean, well, if you're watching it live,
Well, there's a
doesn't matter.
podcast, but you can go on Ustream or you can go
the
here.
riverwest.com, riverwestradio.com, and see us in the studio or whatever. Yeah, you have to put it right on me. The general area, like people. I don't know what it is to see. Oh yeah. Okay. So I had a big lunch and I'm really Fixated.
You had a big lunch?
Yeah. No, actually, I had a big lunch. I didn't mean pot. I had 2 egg sandwich and like 4 pieces of bacon and a whole bunch of butter. And I don't know how my lunch thing came up as a topic of discussion.
You know, Mario's talking the whole time. You got the camera on me.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to like actually do film thing. Okay, now I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Well, that's why it's called a radio show, Mario. You do have a face for radio, though.
Oh.
As he doesn't turn the camera on himself.
Oh.
This is well established already. I'm not the one that's sitting here going, "Make me famous, make me famous."
I don't want to be famous. Infamous is good enough for me. Yeah, there you go. All right, so whatever. Talk about something.
You had a possum story.
Oh yeah. The possum that held me hostage from coming out of my home.
Well, I thought it was great because it's a Halloween episode, and we don't really have a lot of Halloween stories. And this is probably the scariest story that anyone's got.
I was gonna shoot the possum.
Well, wait.
and then
Start the beginning, like the
I was
beginning
getting ready to go to the poetry set, and on Monday to see Joanne Chang, and there was a possum in the doorway, like chilling, and he looked at me as if. Like I slammed the screen and he didn't move. He just sat there and stared at me with the red eyes, and it was creepy. And I had contemplated shooting the said possum, but then I worried about discharging a firearm in city limits, and that might bring the police. So I thought again, and I ended up getting a stick, and then I had to like walk around the building to get to the car to drive out.
I thought there was a can of tuna involved.
Oh yeah, I had put out a can of tuna for the cat. There's a stray cat, not the 3-legged cat that lives with you now, but there's a cat that lives in the neighborhood, and I was just putting out food for him.
Yeah.
And that's how the possum got to my back porch. And the damn cat didn't eat the tuna. The possum ate it. Damn's not a curse word. I'm not a possum.
99 is not live. She lives under the porch, and we just let her in every now and then because she it's cold.
All right.
So-
Nick is taking care of 99. That's the 99% of cat that the Occupy Milwaukee people had sort of semi-adopted when they had the TV set up in the Commons area, right? Next to the public house.
And now she lives in the alley behind there, and where I live is near there. And,
Near there.
And it I think it's because we have that porch, and it's just so convenient for her to go underneath there. And
It's a good spot if I was a
It is,
cat.
yeah.
That backyard would be pretty sweet. There's a lot of chances for rodents and little things that the kitties eat.
yeah, thanks for Thanks
That-
for implying that my place is infested.
Hey, this is what cats do though. They keep all that stuff away.
This is true.
So when you have a cat, that means that's not going to be happening
This is
because they
true.
keep it out. I've trained my cat to eat those centipede things that crawl really fast. You know?
Okay, yeah. Those creepy things.
No, she's really great at it. Now she spots them on her own and she'll go right after them. And she's vicious. She'll rip all the legs off before she eats it, so that it just kind of wiggles around like a worm.
Awesome.
And then she'll stare at it and then play with that for a minute. Sadistic cat. So.
But my In Living Color story was boring.
Oh, Mario.
But we are talking.
No,
one
it was
cares
just
about
that. It
your
was just
cat.
that we're.
Have you been on the internet lately? Cats are awesome.
Yeah, dude. Cats get so many views. It's ridiculous.
We are dealing with an antiquated medium here. We have to stay with the times. We got to talk about cats.
We got to talk about these
Just
cats,
randomly
man.
talk about cats.
I suppose. I want a cat. I had a cat once. It was a nice cat. It was a house cat.
That's it.
Yep, that's it.
What did it look like?
It was
Or don't you see color?
It was gray. That was a racial joke. That's funny.
I
But
had to get one out, man.
Yep,
You won't
but,
let me do Tavis Smiley. I got the great.
Yeah,
I was supposed to do my
yeah.
Halloween voice, but we ended up doing a Mad Dog Vachon on the Crusher before you got here. So.
oh yeah,
we
that's
really
gross.
didn't have anything planned for today other than a Halloween show.
No, I had everything written down, but of course I don't have that with me.
You left your notes.
I left my notes somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, but the possum story, I knew we had to talk about.
Yeah.
But I remember it as being more interesting because don't you have kind of not a next door neighbor, but in the neighborhood, isn't there a cracky kind of dude that lives around there?
Okay, so no, he's gone now.
Oh.
There's a crackhead that lives in the house next door to me, and he feels the necessity at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock sometimes in the morning to come out the house talking at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
I don't understand You know, if you're bartering for the crack, or you know, if you hollering up the street for the crack, I don't know what you're doing.
Maybe there's an auction. There's a crack auction going on out there.
Let me get $4.
$4. If I was auctioning crack, I would start off in the cents, and then work your way up to cheeseburger, to oral sex.
Get your crack here. Get your crack here.
Cracky, cracky,
Cracky crack. So cracky crack.
Cracky crack.
Yeah, that happened.
That's his name, Cracky McCrackerson.
Yeah, Cracky McCracker. So he got the boot. He got the old bums rush about a week ago. His sister called the police on him. But it was every morning I would get up and my window, my office area is right by a window and the front of the house, you know. And of course I wouldn't move my office area away from the window. You know, I just complain profusely about how I want to kill this man. And I had devised a plan to like throw stuff at him, and so when he got mad, I was gonna go, okay, here was the thing, this is what I was gonna do. I was gonna buy some crack.
Right.
And then I was gonna wait till he was out there making a whole bunch of noise, and I was gonna throw stuff at him, right? And if I hit, you know, see if I could, how many times I could hit him before he would get pissed and come to the door. So then when he came to the door, I was just gonna hand him the crack.
Right.
And he'd get confused and walk away.
I'm confused.
Yeah,
You got me confused. Now
I was
Yeah,
gonna apply him with crack.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the plan. But like, no, he got put out. But no,
A crack trap. You put like some crack underneath a box with a stick propping it up, and he gets under there. You pull the box. Got him.
Got him.
Got you, Cracky.
Got you, Cracky. Got you, Cracky.
yeah. It's a good thing I gave up on this whole idea of if there is a hell, I'm definitely not saved from it. I never will be. I'm a terrible person. So
Gotcha, Cracky.
you know,
We make fun of people that have bigger problems than us.
exactly.
That's how we
We
get
are
through
terrible
life.
people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
Cracky.
so,
I think he's already got. I don't think there's no getting him. He is a crack addict.
Well, no, somebody else has got him now. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he got kicked out.
Man.
I made the joke that there was a couple times I came to visit you. He was on the porch looking at me, and I was like, I could tell he didn't know who is this white man coming, because it looked like I was probably walking right at him,
Right.
you know. And he's like, oh my God. He probably thought it was like a scene out of Training Day or something. Or
that you was my parole officer.
right. I was your social worker. I was Mario's social worker. He's like, thank God he's not knocking on my door. Oh, I gotta go find some crack. I need some more crack to get through
That's
this.
how he ends every sentence he ever. I need some crack. That's how he ends every sentence. Yeah, man. You going to the coffee shop? Yeah, I'm going to the coffee shop. I need some crack. Want some Wendy's? Sure, I want some Wendy's.
He goes to
I need some crack.
He goes to the coffee shop and they
French
ask him
fries
if
and crack.
room for. Would you like some room for cream? No, I need room for crack.
coffee.
How much room do you leave in coffee for crack? How much? I think if you have crack, you don't need coffee.
One rock or two.
It's like a double shot of crack in his coffee. He had a double shot of crack in his coffee. There's a guy outside raking. He had a double shot of crack in his coffee.
Like I said, I'm not sure if I believe in hell, but I know if it exists, there's no way for me to avoid
Red
going
Bull.
through
I'm
it. So
not discussing that.
I apologize. I'm a terrible
A
person.
bowl of
but,
crack?
Yeah.
How would you get a bowl of crack? That's a lot of crack.
I said Red Bull and then a crack.
Oh, Red Bull and then a crack. Oh, wow. That would give
I
you
feel
wings.
bad being a part of this conversation, but I'm still a terrible person.
Apparently Nick is our social worker.
Apparently. I don't care about crack.
He has morals.
I'm a terrible social worker.
Those are silly.
My
I'm the type of
my
social worker that eats a big
high.
meal before
Right.
I come see client.
Yeah, really. Don't
so-
judge the humor, Nick. Your morality's getting in the way of the comedy here.
My social worker's high as shit.
You swore.
Don't you, if you hit me with a lighter, I'm going to hurt you. Don't you
No.
throw anything at me.
But that's gonna add up to me doing Tavis Smiley eventually.
I thought the S word was fine.
No, you cannot swear at all, dude.
I thought the S word
What
was
country you from?
Milwaukee. I don't like Milwaukee's not a country.
Welcome back to NPR. I'm your host, Tav Smiley.
Okay, that was it. That was the one. Okay, that's fine. I won't swear again.
All right, see? See? Now you know how jarring that is for people that are used to good, clean comedy
About crack.
about crack.
Keep your cursing out of my crack.
Don't you swear at my crack jokes.
Don't you dare use dirty language just to talk about crack.
This is going to be the crack show. I didn't know it was going to be the crack show, but it kind of turned into the crack show. And I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. But
935-2951. Call up if you know where you get some crack.
Please don't call it.
Please don't call up. We really don't want that information.
We don't need to. It's River West. It's probably not hard to find some crack if you really want some crack.
Right.
Well, you know.
You know, some crackhead broke into my my apartment when I was living on Clark.
How did you know it was a crackhead? He left crack crumbs.
No, it was the weirdest thing because it's like maybe the Saturday after like the Tuesday I moved in there, and he's banging on my door at 7 in the morning, and then he says, "Hey, yeah, I have this. I used to live in here before you moved in. You know, I had this key. You know, if and I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I left something in the basement. You know, can I go use it? I'm like, okay. You know, and I believed him because I was like, well, you know, why would he? You know, he had the key. So I had to leave after like 20 minutes. He's still down there. I went to check on him. The dude is smoking in my basement.
Smoking crack in your basement?
Yes.
He broke in. Did he steal anything?
No, he no. Here's the thing. He didn't. That night, my place got broke into, and he didn't. Here's the thing.
You are way past the thing. Go on, finish the story. I gotta let you get it out before but go ahead. You let a guy in your house to smoke crack. Go ahead, man. He had a key. What? Okay.
He had a key.
Well, why would he have the key if he didn't live there?
Okay, just finish
Or
the story. So later on that evening,
That was the place that he would go to smoke crack. That was like the clubhouse.
Yeah, I don't know how he got the key. You know, the landlord said that the only person who lived there before me was some girl. So, yeah, so so anyway, I kicked him out, and then I came back at like 9 o'clock later that night, and my place is already broke into. Didn't touch my. I had at least like $200 hanging, sitting on my shelf. Didn't touch that. Didn't touch TV. Just he jacked the shit.
It's language.
Yeah.
There's no Tavis with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. He jacked the mess
Well,
out
I'll
of.
find something that he doesn't like.
Yeah. Basically,
I'll do my
Travis.
Charlie Rose impersonation.
No, please.
basically the nook of the door where it sits. He took that apart. Apparently, he has something in there, or some. I don't know.
Crack.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the rule, Nick. We're going to cover this. We're going to go slow because I know you had a big lunch. But here's the rule. Guy shows up at your door, you don't know, with a key. Take the key and don't let him in your house. If he left something in the basement, he should probably go to the landlord. That's where you went. That's where you went afoul for me.
This is years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you know better now, right? Like after the robbery, after the was he a white guy? Was he a white guy?
It was a white dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a big fat white, the fattest, whitest
Fat
crackhead I've ever.
crackheads are funny. Are you having cholesterol with your crack?
Fat crackhead?
A fat crack. Yes.
This is going against stereotype. I don't know that I can compute.
A fat white crackhead.
I can't compute this at all. I can't even.
A fat white crackhead. That's the name of my new rock band.
I like it.
We have an album in stores in June. It's four black guys and a little Asian dude, and we're called a fat white crackhead.
Maybe it was using it like a diet plan, like he had just started using crack.
Was it
hoping to lose weight? Like, I heard that if you do this a lot, you lose weight. I've seen it in movies.
Maybe he was cutting his crack with bacon fat. Maybe he was.
He had to call the crack.
I'm glad nobody listens to us right now.
Cracking a cheeseburger. Every time he hit the pipe, he get hungry. I mean, you know,
Wow. Don't mix it with poppy seeds, man. That stuff will kill you.
can I get that crack with extra back sauce? Like,
Wow.
oh, boobies.
Release the Kraken.
Over here, shoot.
Shh, watch your
I
language.
said shoot. Like a.
Watch all your language. Your swearing and your sexual harassment. And I can't do a Tavis Smiley impression. One specific TV celebrity I'm not allowed to touch because Mario has paranoia. He has
He's not allowed
paranoia.
to touch Tavis Smiley. That's funny to me for some
So
reason.
terrible. I can't.
I could talk about fat crackheads, I guess. I don't. It's just I don't find it funny. It's just. I mean, it's funny,
What,
but
fat crackheads?
no.
You found that hilarious.
I did. I was actually.
No, you're not.
I love.
You're not
I
even.
love fat crackheads. I do. I love. I just. It just fascinates me.
Yeah.
Like
No,
you
I'm
can't
like-
even smoke crack right. Like you're supposed to be scared. like you're already a loser because you're on crack. But
Well, I
like,
heard you
can't
had to
even get-
grease up the pipe before you did it. That's probably what it was. You thought that you had to like put some Crisco in there first.
Wow, man.
Yeah, makes the smoke draw easier. I don't know.
I don't know. It's very rare you see them though. They're like white tigers. It's very rare you see
Or ligers.
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 Liger's like my favorite animal.
I have a thing about emus.
Yeah. What about llamas?
Me and my llama. Me and my llama.
About a llama that wears a yarmulke.
A llama.
A yarmulke.
That had life for a really long time. I don't even remember. Oh, because we actually found a picture of a llama.
Yeah.
It's why
There
we
was a
stopped.
llama that had a yarmulke
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So
It was
just
a llama.
it was a yarmulke.
And it was already, we had thought it was our own idea, but somebody had already drawn a
Somebody
picture
beat
of
us to it.
it. And so we just left it alone. But
Which
llama
happens
could
all the
last a
time.
long yeah.
Did I tell you ever that I had the idea for the movie Enemy of the Gate? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a romantic angle on it. I was
Oh.
mad that they did it. It's a historical story, but I had started writing it, and then literally in high school, and then the movie came out. I was so mad. I was just like, I'm never writing another screenplay again.
Well, I thought I came up with masturbation for a long time, but apparently I'm not the first guy to ever. I wasn't talking about it to anybody. I wasn't spreading the idea. I thought I had a good thing, but apparently I'm not the first guy to ever play with it.
This was amazing.
This is amazing.
Did you, when you first discovered it, did you talk about it with other people?
No, I didn't tell it.
Like, dude, did you guys ever play with your wiener? It's great. It's an amazing thing.
There was a lot of
You forget your problems for like 20 minutes. It's like crack. Like crack.
If it took you 20 minutes, you wasn't doing it right.
No, I was in the living room and I kind of got to rubbing it and then it shot, but it was everywhere. It was so much semen. It was amazing. There were buckets. There's been buckets of semen on this show. A fat white crackhead, and this is the best.
I still
best
can't
podcast
impersonate
ever.
Tavis Smiley. That's the only thing that's taboo on the show. Go figure.
Tavis Smiley.
Yeah.
Bucket of semen. We'll come back on NPR.
I don't
back.
understand what's going on.
Come back. No, I never have buckets of semen. That's a lot of semen. You would have to eat a lot of greaser, I guess.
I don't
You know,
know.
this girl told me once that what's it called? Citrus fruits change the flavor of your spooge, I guess you call it.
Well, okay, do you remember, what were the name of those brothers that killed their parents?
With
Menendez.
sperm?
Yeah, the
Menendez
Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
All right, so in the documents of that, it's like when I first heard that apparently they were feeding their parents cinnamon all the time, their dad's cinnamon, because their dad sexually molested them, and that was why they killed their parents. And the reason that they did that is because it changed the flavor. So,
Wow.
So if I'm going to have to
Yeah.
to fillet my father, at least it can be tasty.
right. So if any of three of us go to jail, make sure to mail that person some cinnamon,
Oh,
so that way we don't get beat up a lot. Cinnamon defense. That's what it's called.
Okay, wait
That's
a
the name of your next
What-
chapter,
so,
Mario.
Wait, I don't,
The cinnamon defense.
The cinnamon defense.
prison rape, but not Tavis Smiley.
Yeah, we managed prison rape. That was going to come up. There is no way the three of us had a show and prison rape was going to be discussed.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Okay, yeah.
I'm surprised we're 3 shows in, we finally made a prison rape joke.
Okay, so let me ask this question. So the cinnamon, it changes it negatively? It's supposed to make it disgusting?
No, why would you make something disgusting that you're being forced to do?
So why would you want to? Okay, what I don't. Okay, wait.
I don't understand it either. These
Why would
people
you-
were insane. They killed their parents, Mario.
Yeah, that's true. But why would you want your dad's sperm to taste better? Like this isn't awful enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is horrible. We have to do something. We should get him some cinnamon because I can't stand the taste. Like, I'm not gonna go tell a social worker. First of all, you had to Google this. I mean, this had to be pre-Google, so you had to look this up.
And they probably cut out green peppers from his diet.
So you go into the library looking for background information on what can make your pop's spoons taste better, because that's the worst part of this incestuous rape that keeps. I don't believe a word of it, not one word. Well, how do you do that? Why would you go find? Okay, I guess.
Hey, I don't know these things. I just tell you like what I hear, man. I'm not a scientist.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I'm not a scientist. I'm a gossip expert as well. That's what talk radio is.
Wow, that is the.
You guys are my men on the street. You guys know what's really happening out there.
Squirrels in trees.
Squirrels in
and
trees.
fat white
Inbred
And
crackheads.
possums on the front porch.
And prison rape.
Is anybody? Seriously. We just got some real country stuff going on here. Squirrels
do,
and possums.
yeah.
That's what the show's about.
And raccoons. I had a raccoon in front of my building one time.
And buckets of semen.
and
A
three-legged
bucket of
cats.
semen and 3-legged cat. Yeah.
We talk about. All right. Well,
We're like a bluegrass band away from Hee Haw.
I'm gonna bring in a banjo next time, or a mouth harp. You know.
Oh, a mouth harp.
Well, it used to be called a Jew's harp, but that's that's a hard.
Anti-Semitic?
No, it's a hard J. You can't say a hard J.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
So you don't watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No, not
You
very
always just
often.
watch Doctor Who and that's it.
Yep, and I've been watching a lot of Sherlock Holmes the last few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a Sherlock unabridged version of the illustrated first copy of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's when it was in a magazine.
Yeah.
I got a copy of that, so I started reading and then I started watching the show on Netflix.
That's cool.
I like Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes is great. You end up trying to think like him though at certain points, because you'll walk into a room. I don't know, because I have I've got the entire Sherlock Holmes, and like so sometimes if you start reading them and you read like 3 or 4 in a row, like the next day you're like walking around trying to solve little mysteries using your deductive powers.
Like the mystery of who broke into Nick's house. It was the crackhead in the basement.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even difficult to figure out.
But I think like the finish of that story was that he tried to like break the door frame open.
Yeah. He broke in and then he just he broke into the door frame.
He just needed firewood to light his pipe.
I mean, I don't know that that's what he's
Kindling.
getting. It's like, why would you
He
do
needed
that? Why would you
kindling.
not take anything that you could actually use or at least pawn and just go for the door frame?
All right.
He had to stash something out.
Yeah, maybe maybe that's just how he got in, but it's just he must have been looking for something.
I suppose.
Wow.
He left the money. He could have had a good pipe, and when you put him out, he dropped his pipe. That might have been it. I don't know. I don't speak crackhead. So, I don't think crackhead very often. I have such a horrible headache. I wish I had something to make this headache go away.
Some crack.
Nope. I don't use crack. I don't even like
I
Addison.
mean, yeah. Let me point out that this is I don't think a big fat dude is a crackhead until I actually saw him smoking crack. I mean,
Thank you,
Well,
Nick. And now we know.
I mean, let's just tell the whole story here. I'm just saying.
All right.
All right. Well, I think we've
Calm down.
I think we've exhausted the fat crackhead.
Right. I mean, Mario get right back to it.
I just thought it just crossed my mind.
It's 4:30-ish now. We should let's change gears a little bit,
Switching gears.
fellers. So next week is Tuesday.
We're gonna talk about this now after
big
an
one?
hour.
Yeah.
This,
Why not?
Of
I'm curious
alienating
now.
our 10 people who listen to us.
Oh gosh, Nick.
You're overestimating our listenership. We only have 3 people on the fan page. If we got 10, and we're the 3 people on the fan page. So if we got 10 listeners, woo!
I've decided that I don't want anyone else to listen to this show.
Right. I said that earlier. I'm glad no one
I'm going to
listens
be
to us.
exclusive about this whole thing. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to hype it. The minute somebody else starts to like it, I'm going to not like it as much.
like
You're gonna hipster
Like-
your own show. You're
Yeah.
gonna
Right.
it was so funny in my head, I couldn't get it out. You go hipster your own dang home show. That make no sense.
That's gonna
I
happen.
liked this show better before everybody got on the bandwagon. Like,
Exactly. I liked it way better when nobody else liked it. I liked it before everybody else did.
those guys sold out for nothing because we're not getting paid to do this.
Don't you know Mario thinks about that?
All the time. That's why the whole idea of me being late was stupid when I walked in the door. I'm late to what? This is not a job, sir.
You're late to a good time and a fun conversation.
I talk to you people 3 or 4 times a week anyway. What?
I wonder how much of that is this Facebook changing their policy. They want people to pay to promote their stuff now.
Yeah.
Is our stuff just getting buried or what? I don't
know.
get it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
You
I don't
invite
care.
your friends to the page, and if they don't like it, then they're.
Hey man, if like I said,
it's
if
whatever.
for mine, and not to talk so much about the podcast, we'll move on. But just to say that we enjoy the people that are listening and that listen and archive it, that actually listen to the podcast format and listen to it later. And you got we're cognizant of the fact that a lot of people aren't necessarily listening
Watch
live.
your language.
Yeah. So that a lot of people don't listen live, that you actually listen to the podcast.
Sure.
But moving on, I hate podcasts that talk about themselves constantly. Like I've listened to those and they're like, what? Talking about being on the
Well, you could
fake
stop
radio.
anytime. You're just doing a big run-on sentence here now. Come on now. We were trying to change the conversation into the election, and we've probably exhausted that. Mm-hmm. So
I think we established who we were going to vote for.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we.
Anybody here voting early? You guys vote? Do you vote early?
No, I haven't.
I like to
No,
vote on voting. I like to
I'm
vote
gonna,
on
I'm
election
gonna
day.
vote sometime this week. It's pretty much gonna depend on what. No later than Saturday though. I got Saturday, if nothing else, is gonna be the day that I vote early.
Now, how much
so.
do you guys think that the storm on the East Coast is going to impact voting?
I don't know.
Like, do you think people? Because people were
Yeah.
talking about voting early and stuff. It's already like, oh, we're not doing our campaigning in this city or whatever. But also, like, just the amount of people that are actually going to not make it out to the polls because of that. I mean,
Right.
I'm wondering about that now a little bit
I
myself.
don't. I think enough people will go out that Obama will win those states, easily. It might have even pulled him Jersey, where he might have had a chance of losing. He might actually get New Jersey just because of the storm and people, a kinship. Certain group of those non-committed voters are gonna go out and vote. Obama came down here and stood by my sister's house, and Chris Christie had his arm around him. Speaking of fat crackheads, right? Segue.
Very good.
Thank you very much. So maybe that'll happen, but
Okay.
I don't know. I'm so over the idea. I know who I'm voting for. I've been to who I was going to vote for. I don't like voting early. I like to go out on election day with
Sure.
the people and vote. So it's like a thing. I usually go have a drink afterwards. And me and my grandmothers, I always voted with my grandmother, would go together, and then I would leave her and go have a beer and wax political at a bar. And wait for the election results. Usually that's what I would say too. Then the guy
You turn into Tim Allen when you do this?
then the guy said, move. Then they put me out. You've had enough.
Sure. Jeez.
Mario kicked out of a bar?
Yeah, that happens a lot. I don't even remember last time I got kicked out of a bar, I threw a drink in a chick's face.
Damn.
Nah.
What led up to that? Do you remember?
So me and a friend of mine were sitting at the bar drinking, because it's a bar.
Oh.
And we had put like $20 in the jukebox, so we were going back and forth listening to music, and we had got pretty wasted. It was about, I don't know, maybe 11 o'clock at night, and this girl came in, and she wasn't really like attractive, but she had on a jersey skirt. It was a basketball jersey that she was wearing like it was a skirt with a belt around it. And she was dancing provocatively on the other side of the bar from where we were, you know, making a jerk of herself. As a matter of fact, somebody had commented that she kind of smelled funny.
Oh.
I didn't care about what was going on with her back.
She just came from a basketball game, man.
Apparently. And so
She maybe didn't have time to shower.
it was a ball game, all right.
Whoa.
So what so she came over, she came around the corner, and after her party had left her, they ran her off and came and stood by us, and she was like, my friend who I was listening to the music with had left. So I was there by myself, and I was gonna have a couple more drinks and go home. And this older dude came over and sat next to me, some other dude that I didn't really know very well. And I knew him kind of well. I didn't know him real well. And she came over by us, and she walked over to me like, I know you gonna buy me a drink. I was like, listen, lady, I don't even know you. Why are you talking to me?
Right.
Effectively, I was like, nah, I'm not. And so then she stood there, and she turned around to say something, and the guy sitting next to me grabbed her butt.
Oh.
But when she turned back around,
He was gone.
he acted like he wasn't looking, you know what I mean? Like, looked off at the distance, and she hit me on the arm and got to yelling, and I threw my drink in her face. Like, dog, what is your problem? Don't you? I didn't do it, you know what I mean? And so the bartender got involved, and she was like, asked me to leave, and I got up to leave or whatever, and then I didn't even throw the glass. I just threw the drink. Like, I could have just tossed the whole thing at her, but I just threw the drink in her face.
Yeah.
I was like, don't hit me. I didn't do anything to you. And then she was in the bar yelling something about getting her boyfriend or something, and I came back up to the bar later on that night, and that's when they told me, we don't want you up here anymore if you're going to come back up here. I just go get your boyfriend. I'll be back. And I went home, and I came back up there and was outside waiting for her boyfriend. You know what I mean? So
When I went home and came back up there, that means I went home and got my weapon.
I didn't say that, but
Sure you didn't.
it was a big lunch.
Keith, you ever got kicked out of a bar?
No, I don't think so.
Wow.
I mean, I drank plenty, but I never got kicked out. I don't really start fights. Or I've never.
Well, you don't have to be the type to start a fight to get kicked out of a bar. I mean, that's the
No.
thing about bars.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been kicked out. I don't think I've ever been kicked out. I think I drank too much, several occasions, and I don't know if I've alluded to it here on the show, but they used to have these after parties for some of the people that they would bring at UWM. Then they would bring these writers in, and they would have these after parties at people's houses. I drank so much at one of those that I think that they stopped having them. Either that or they stopped inviting me. I haven't figured it out yet. But that was like when I was just drinking a ton. But the thing was, is I was stupid because I didn't know. Oh, I've never had this kind of wine. I've never had this kind of vodka. And I would just drink like everything that was there. Yeah, that was a terrible night.
Now, I've been to the open bar things at people's weddings or whatever, and got the beatbox from the bartender when I had started drinking too much. Like, yeah, let me get another Hennessy. Oh, really? It's an open bar. It's an open bar, dog. Like, just give me a Hennessy. You've had a few.
How does that beatbox go again? Oh, man. See, like, I've never gotten that one. Usually when they beatbox at me, it's like, no. It's a techno bar. You know.
But yeah, it's a techno bar.
No.
I hate techno music. Have you ever been kicked out of a bar, Nick?
Yeah, you know I've been kicked out.
I know you've been kicked out. The listeners, Nick, the
Yes,
listeners.
yes. Yeah, so
Last time you've been kicked out of a bar. You've been kicked out of a
last-
bar a few times.
last time I was kicked out of a bar, it was for a poetry night, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. I was in that bar. I didn't even know he had got kicked out. I heard the commotion in the front, but I didn't know he had got kicked out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, all right. Well, anyway, I get there, and they have their hostess with her back turned, with the phone like way away from her desk. So I didn't know that there was anybody taking payment or whatever, because I was on the guest list. So I just walked in, and I sat down, and started talking to a friend, whatever, and I'm not gonna say his name because it's not important who he is. He's just the biggest pussy in the world, but
Language.
Oh, vagina. He's the biggest vagina in the world.
yeah. So
I'm not
it's
agreeing or
questionable.
disagreeing.
I don't even know. I don't know where the line is anymore. I just know you can't say the S word, the F word, the C word, and the. I think we have to avoid the B word, but I'm not sure.
Vagina. But again, so he was there and
yeah, so he comes up to me and he just starts talking shit.
Hey,
maybe-
come on!
hey.
God, you're an idiot. You can't tell stories.
Trying not to curse.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried to figure out like ways to help Nick here, but there's really not much we can do.
Well,
other
they
than,
throw
Mario's
things at
cursed as much as me.
I have not cursed as much as you in this particular show. So listen, don't put. Am I here for
overall.
scapegoating? Is that what the black guys here for? Am I here for somebody to blame it on? Is that what's happening? Go ahead. Finish your story without the cursing. So the host guy was at the door, the biggest vagina in the world.
Right, the biggest vagina in the world is just being a.
when you think you're gonna swear, think of another word to say.
If he can do
Okay,
that.
are you gonna let me finish this story?
I don't know. I don't know if I should.
So anyway,
Thanks, Mom. Go ahead.
anyway, so he just starts coming in to you gotta go check in. So I go. So he brings me by the hostess, who the same woman who's had her back to me the whole time I was up there. And
Edit the cursing out of your response. By the way, go ahead.
Right. So then like tell her who you are. I'm like you know who I am. He's like, no man, you want to be here, you got to play the game. It's like I had just gotten off a 12-hour shift. I was working at a meat plant, just doing a lot of heavy lifting all day. I just wasn't, I just didn't.
In the mood,
Right, I just wasn't in the mood for
Sure.
to deal with it. So I walked. So then I walked away, and I sat back down, and he came over by me and started. I can't remember what he said to me, but he did the real. The punkish thing, trying not to curse, and he just walked by, said something. I can't remember what he said, and then he walked away. So then I got up to him. I was like, is your name Dave? Because if your name isn't Dave, you're not my dad. If you're not my dad, you need to shut the up.
Yeah.
Effectively. Yeah. And then the silliness ensued. I don't know if he's the biggest vagina in the world, but as vaginas go, I would assume he's.
Do
quite
I know
large.
this person?
Yeah, you know the person, but it doesn't matter, man. I mean, and at the end of the day, let me say this about that whole scenario, and I remember that day. Some people aren't worth your some situations aren't worth your energy. You get too worked up about little stuff, and you got to let that go. It suffices certain people to be able to say certain things about certain people in a way that reflects on them negatively. So you have to be careful with situations like that. And that's to everybody. When you're dealing with certain people, they're trying to get a rise out of you in order to, says the guy who was fired for cussing out his boss. I just couldn't take it no more, man. And so this is why
you're right. The other guy might not have been the biggest vagina. Now that you brought up that guy, but
That's a mutual thing. We all know who that is.
Yeah. DJ Paul. I don't. What do you call himself? DJ
D-Mix.
D-Mix.
I don't mind saying D-Mix.
Okay.
you
It's
guys are
15
cussing
minutes
him
left.
out.
It's 15 minutes left in the show. Oh,
Guys-
so the D-Mix conversation. So this jerkwad.
We're really doing this.
I'm still co-worker with him.
I don't.
For the
You don't
record,
have to
so
say
I'm not
anything. I
saying
got
anything.
this.
Okay, so this is just me and Mario, the guys he fired.
The guy he told everyone he was afraid of, by the way, D-Mix, the worst techno DJ in the history of techno. And it's horrible music, and he sucks at playing it. Like, it already sounds like robots having sex, and he can't get that right. If you want to see something funny, show up when D-Mix is playing a set and watch the people leave. It's like he does it's like Bizarro DJ. He does the exact opposite of what a real DJ does. A real DJ draws a crowd. They should use him at the police station when there's a riot. Have D-Mix pull out his DJ set and watch the crowd disperse. He can clear out Juneteenth Day at the end of the festival and put him up in a bus, and he gets to scratch it and watch everybody leave. Like, unreal. The only reason he got the job is so he could get closer to the owner and book DJs so people would actually talk to him because no one likes him. Right. The whole of the DJ community hates him. He's a jerk, and like he's the worst human on the face of this earth. He had a girlfriend once, but she had to go get her testicles cut and they had to break up. I'm not saying he's gay, but he know what a man tastes like.
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, it's just
I didn't cuss
River West Radio is not liable for any legal issues arising from the content of this program.
Well, you can get a disclaimer. I could care less. D-Mix is horrible. Is a horrible, horrible DJ and a worthless piece of humanity.
He is a horrible human being.
He is horrible at being a human being. Like, other than the breathing part, I guess he breathes okay, but all of the other requirements of a human being, as a sentient life form, he is awful. Like, because thinking, feeling, being, and everything he does horribly.
Hey, you know, this is going to be on the internet.
I would write his mom a letter, but, you know, she's smoking crack somewhere, so she would never get the mail. It's hard to get mail at the crack spot. His dad's a fat crackhead.
You guys slapped her when she gave birth to him.
You guys are saying you don't like this fella, huh?
No. Okay, I would not. I would not pull out my cock to piss on his gum if they were on fire.
Hey.
I can't say that word.
You're listening to River West Radio. My name's Tavis Smiley. I'm the producer of this show. Things you will hear over the next 15 minutes represent the views of show name and the people making them. All opinions and quotations in no way represent River West Radio, NPR. Sole responsibility of the producer, guests, and callers. That's all from Los Angeles. Thank you for joining us. Keep the faith.
No!
There are too many swears.
I wasn't me. It wasn't me. But yeah, but once he gets passionate about D-Mix.
I understand. You guys.
DJ Paul.
You guys are both.
I want to know D-Mix's Facebook information so I could get everybody to be his friend on Facebook and like.
He's plenty popular.
He is. He has a lot of friends on Facebook.
I've not actually looked at his count, but
he doesn't have a lot of friends.
Some people are well connected because they just been around so long. Okay,
like prostitutes.
He's been, you know.
He's a herpes sore on the face of the community.
I don't know how he's been DJing for 10 or whatever years and he's still
sucks.
Like
Well,
and you know, but he's been
around
that long.
He's really awful. He's like no, and like when I tried to like
lost control of this show.
I tried to like the guy a little bit. Not really. I never really tried to like the guy. And he said, I think you want to punch me in the face because I want to punch you in the face. How perceptive of you, sir, to think that I would want to punch you when I really want to punch you. I'm not good at hiding that whole punching thing.
Wow. And he fired me over a text message.
He's just a horrible. It's not really I didn't like him before he fired me. The reason why he let me go is because I didn't like him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like you. I don't like anything about you, and you're a jerk. And all of your friends are weird and kooky kind of people. They're kooky kind of. Oh, he's different. He's different. D-Mix and his little different group of friends. I didn't get this podcast in order to make this clear to everyone that if you ever go to the Miramar, you should tell D-Mix that Mario's out talking about him so he can meet me somewhere.
Wow.
And we could have a showdown. He wouldn't even fight me. Like, if I was to actually want, like, I don't really want to fight. I guess I kind of want to fight him. But, like.
You know, this is all admissible in court. I'm just letting you know.
It would be a mutual fight. I wouldn't punch the man in order to initiate the fight. We could have a pay-per-view event and like have an actual boxing match with gloves.
Well, you could raise money for charity that
way.
We
could. It would be an awesome idea. We could even do it at the Miramar and get Bill involved and make him some money.
He needs to pay for like the new boiler room or whatever.
He was on the internet begging for money not too long ago.
Well, you guys are gonna get me fired here.
Okay, Bill's not listening to the show, so like at all.
Well, that's kind of true. I'm tagging. This show's about squirrels and possums and buckets of semen. No one will listen to it. And kitties. We did talk about kitties for a while.
Cats. Yes.
But, I had that dream once. It was kitties and Fat crackheads and buckets of sleep. I didn't sleep well for a week.
Was techno playing behind it?
Do we even? Do we have 2 total minutes of usable material in this podcast?
This one, before Mario got here, we were doing pretty good, but you couldn't keep the Crusher going long enough. I got to get you a script next
I couldn't.
time.
You know, that's the thing. If I'd have known that to prepare for it, you
No,
know,
this
like,
is all off the top of our noggins.
Yeah. Well, I can improvise if I know that I'm going into it having to do Crushers. You know, it's just
All right.
it-
You
it-
did
can
really good at
improvise
the,
if
you
you
did
know
really
you're
good
gonna
at the
improvise.
November Criminal Show
Thank you
last
very
Thursday,
much.
by the way.
Yes,
We had a little promo session between Mad Dog and Crusher. We gave him Nick a mic. So anytime Nick's in the audience, that may happen. Just so everybody knows, if you come see a November Criminal set, it's quite possible that at some point Mad Dog Vachon is going to call the Crusher out, and they will get into it on the microphones just before we play the beer barrel poker.
Turkey necks.
Turkey necks.
Turkey neck,
Do
hammer
that
lock.
turkey
Do the hammer lock.
Yeah, turkey necks. I don't know how that song goes.
We
We'll
get
get
that.
that.
We'll get that song.
No, what we'll do, we'll get that isolated and we'll put it on the laptop here. And we'll play
Right.
it one time.
Yes.
Somebody covered that at Trash Fest when we played there back in early October.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it was really cool. I was like, I had not heard that song before. Or maybe I had heard that song, but I didn't know that I knew that song. I was
Right.
like, this is great. This is the best song ever.
It
I should tell
is.
Nick about this song, and then you found it on your own. So
Yeah.
kind of fortuitous.
Yes.
So.
You know, you said Stan
Stop
Hansen
cursing.
was better than the Crusher.
No, I did. I said he was less than the Crusher.
No.
Read the post.
Yeah,
Do you know what a
only
less
thing-
than sign looks like?
Yeah, but you said only less than because of where he's from.
Yeah, but did you watch the video with Stan Hansen beating people up?
Well, Crusher was doing that 20 years before Stan Hansen was doing it.
Yeah, but Stan Hansen was beating up like so many more people. You know, I'm sorry. The Western Lariat is a pretty sweet move.
It is- it is a sweet
you know?
move.
And he was knocking people out legitimately. He knocked Big Van Vader's eye out of its socket, okay?
That,
Like,
that is.
that's crazy.
Well, you know,
That's crazy.
Well, he cut open Mad Dog pretty bad one
Yeah.
time though.
That's
and
true.
then they picked him up and then he posed for the camera while while Mad Dog is just gushing blood
Yeah.
on his face, and he held
Those
him there for
old
the camera.
wrestlers, man, are just
Right.
nuts. Like, you know, before the PG era started on TV, Mario, it was just a bloody mess. Like, even up into the 90s. And the funny thing was, everybody came down hard on ECW for being, like, really violent. And I'm like, dude, it was like this in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and most of the 80s, too. If you watch
Right.
Dusty Rhodes' matches,
Oh,
you
yeah.
see his forehead, you can tell that guy's got a road map carved onto his scalp, you know.
Right.
It's insanity. So, you're breathing all heavy into the microphone over
I
there.
had my head just.
Is your head hurting?
That's why I got quiet for a minute. I was having a
Sorry, buddy.
episode. No, it's all right.
Well, we've only got like 2 minutes left. Is there anything anybody wants to plug real quick? Right. No?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess I could plug the New Word Document show on November.
November 25th.
Yeah,
At the
8:15 East
River West
Locust.
Public House.
Yeah, we're gonna do a show and there'll be a poet there, but I think we'll have a few more times to talk before that thing happens.
Well, I'm just going to mention then, just for goofing off, November 15th at the Public House. Beans and Cherries Food Pantry benefit. November Criminals are going to be guests. Melatomic is a guest. And then, of course, the mighty Brian Cherry and the wonderful Roxy Bean are going to be playing. And it's just just bring some non-perishable food items for the food bank and, come on in and have a good
Oh,
time.
politics and poetry. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
what's this?
The Rotunda downtown at City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have 6 to 8 tomorrow. There's going to be a poetry show hosted by Kwame Anton Nixon.
Okay.
And so one of the Alderwoman Coggs, and I think Nick Kovac co-sponsoring the event. So they're gonna have some poets come down just to, get people, make awareness of the election. Really how it started was that at one of the licensing committee meetings, one of the bars wanted to put poetry on their list, on their plan of operations list
Sure.
as a thing, and everybody kept giving the alder person a whole bunch of guff about the having poetry. Because she was like, they need to have poetry. Let them have poetry. Because I guess they don't realize what poetry is. And so what the person took that as an opportunity. And we're going to have canned goods. You can bring in canned goods for Hunger Task Force or
Super.
for the
Yeah.
Sandy people. if you want to or whatever. And the poets are gonna come out and do a little poetry just to show off a bit
Cool.
that poetry is still relevant in this day and age.
All right.
I think a lot of the guys down there on the council didn't really know what, the effects of poetry.
All right, Nick, cue the music. We're going to play it out real quick. And just want to thank everybody for listening. And hope you enjoyed the show today. We're going to be tagging squirrels and possums.
Yeah, I'm Mario the poet.
And that's Nick. And you say-
Fury.
and I'm Keith Gusted. Thanks for listening to There Goes the Neighborhood.